Welcome back to the journey, everybody. Today we are taking a short look at posture's role in how we experience discomfort. I have been focusing more on posture and rehab in my workouts, and mainly it's because I think it might impact my symptoms. If I have a better posture, maybe what might happen is my body might perceive discomfort in a different way. There's also some aesthetic reasons, right? We want to have good posture because it proves confidence and it just looks better to have your shoulders rolled back, your head high. If you're here, you kind of don't look as good. So I've been focusing on posture more and more and trying to maintain that throughout my workday. But ultimately, because I hurt my low back, my upper back, I've had sciatica down my legs from running, and then also recently my right shoulder has been a little pinchy from doing a lot of bench press, doing a lot of weights. So trying to unwind all of these kind of physical challenges that I've done and kind of rehab them and do that in a way so that there's some balance there. I'm still feeling good, but I'm strong and fit and able to do the physical challenges that I want in my life. I want to talk a little bit now about what posture is, and I can't take credit for this. I think this is from Andrew Huberman. Posture is how you fought gravity for the time that you've been here. So think about however old you are, that's how many years you've been fighting gravity. So for me, 27. That's essentially a lot of time that I've been moving, maybe not in a suboptimal way, maybe in a worse way than I could have been, maybe holding myself in a position that's in a suboptimal position. I want to say here that posture isn't the end-all be-all for treating pain, but it is a consideration. A posture can cause nociception, and that nociception can be thought by the brain as a threat. Ultimately, we want to be able to use lots of postures, be in lots of postures, and whether it's optimal or suboptimal, we still need to be able to move and stabilize and do all the good stuff that we need to do. So let's break down posture. What is it? What do you need to have posture? Posture is the sum total, your awareness of your body, the range of motion that you have, and your muscular endurance. Now, I like to lay this out this way. So if you don't have the awareness of what position you're in, it doesn't matter if you have the strength, the endurance, or the range of motion to get there. You don't have the correct concept of how to get your body to act and get your body to position itself in the posture that you want. So that's why kinesthetic awareness is the first step. You have to have the awareness of where you are in space in order to then move to the next step, which is having the appropriate range of motion for whatever posture or position you're trying to achieve. If your head can't come back because you've been in this position for so long, there's no way you're going to have the strength to get your head here if you can't even get your head there. You can't get strong in a range of motion you don't have. It just doesn't work like that. And then the final step is having the muscular endurance, having the muscular strength in order to assume that posture and then maintain it. There are some positions that are really hard for folks if they're fairly stiff in their upper back and their neck. Take the wall angel. If you want your shoulders and your hips and your head all to touch the wall at the same time, and you've been stuck in this forward position for so long, it's going to be a lot of effort, a lot of work just to kind of get your head back a little bit. So that muscular endurance is important because we want to be able to hold positions for a long period of time. Now, here's my one caveat for posture. This is why it's not the end-all be-all for treating discomfort. Humans were never meant to be stationary and sedentary as we mostly are these days. Technology has kind of thrust us towards this more sedentary behavior. We hang out and watch TV more. We play video games more. We sit for work and we sit. We sit at home, we sit at work. So all of this sedentary behavior can lead to being in a certain posture, being in this seated posture for a long period of time. We were always meant to be moving, to be hunting, to be following animals. And now I'm not saying that we need to do this, go out and hunt and disregard all of the work that we do, but we need to integrate better more back into continuous movement. Rather than sitting so much, maybe you do some standing at your desk, or maybe you add a movement break where every hour you go for a walk. Whatever it is that works for you, just integrate a little bit more movement throughout the day and make sure that it's different than what position you're typically in. So let's take our 3 pieces of posture and try to utilize them to get more out of our postures and get more out of our positions. What do we need to do to increase our kinesthetic awareness? Awareness is tied to movement. So in order to increase our awareness, we need to move more and move in a variety of ways. So if the breakdown in posture at the awareness level, maybe this is your first video you've watched on posture versus video getting you into moving more, you just need to do it more. When people first start out in climbing, the advice is just climb. Don't worry about what pull-ups do I need to be doing? What grip strength do I need to be doing? If you're trying to get better at climbing, just climb. You need to get some awareness of what the movement is like and where your deficits lie. You just need more information. And that's what moving more gives you more information. The next step is having the appropriate range of motion. We've got to move better after we've moved more. And that lends itself to having more information. If you move more, you're going to get more information, and then you're going to start to reflect and say, you know what, when I bench pressed at this angle, it kind of hurt my shoulder, so maybe I might try a different angle. Or I get more activation from this area versus this area when I go at more of a lower shoulder extended angle rather than a more horizontally abducted angle. You're just going to get more information and be able to integrate that and move better as you move more. The final piece is getting stronger, becoming more resilient, getting your tissue an increased capacity to stabilize in these postures, getting your body able to move the loads that you need to be able to do for your daily life with greater ease. So that's why getting stronger is the final step, because you can't do that if you haven't stabilized well, you haven't moved well, you don't know what you need to do to complete the task. So make sure you have an awareness of your body, have the appropriate range of motion, and the appropriate strength to complete the task. This all lends itself to understanding your body and the biomechanics more. So if you're trying to optimize, you need to understand more about your body, and you don't have to know all the bones and you don't have to know all the muscles, although that stuff helps. It does help to have an understanding of what a muscle does and what to do to load it. So I encourage you, if you're struggling with this postural concept, if you're struggling with what exercises to do, try and understand the body more. Try and understand what your muscles do, what the pec does. Does it push? Is it a pull muscle? You need to understand the biomechanics there so that you can appropriately program and avoid hurting yourself over time. And this is where rehab kind of comes into play. In order to get more information, we kind of need to practice these different movements. And rehab uses typically lower loads, typically works on deficits, areas that you have, and rehab has a really important place in everyone's lives. When I talk about rehab, I'm talking specifically about physical rehab. So we need to be using bands more, lighter weights, body weight. Can you keep a good posture and move through it? Can you keep your low back purported lordosis while you squat down, bring your hips down below parallel and back up? We need to be able to not only get into a position, but also move to another one. And so I've been integrating more rehab in my workouts, doing that so that I can move better and feel better. And I encourage you, if that is something you want to do, add some more rehab into your workouts. Add some more rehab into your routine during the day. You know, if you're feeling like, my neck hurts when you sit all day, well, maybe do some extensions. You know, maybe get out of that forward posture that you're in and see if that doesn't give you some help. And then going back to just moving more, move with greater variety, move with different loads, use bands, use weights, use body weight. I like bands because it allows you a lot of different angles, a lot of different pulls. Bands have a lot of variety in them, whereas maybe a weight is more unilateral, where gravity pulls on it and it doesn't change throughout the range of motion. Whereas a band, the longer you pull it, the more resistance you have. There's greater variety in the loads that you're pulling on. Just try and experiment with movement. Do what feels good. We've been using our intuition for everything for years. Utilize that in your rehab and utilize that in your workouts. If something feels bad, try and make a change to make it feel better. Ultimately, as you do this more, you'll figure out different rehab exercises that seem to activate your rotator cuff better. They activate your stabilizing muscles better, so that when you do move heavy weights, it's relatively easy. You've got the appropriate awareness, you've got the appropriate range of motion and strength in order to complete those tasks. So we've talked a lot about posture, about what it takes to get into and maintain a posture, and I just want you all to know, move more. That is the goal, okay? If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. If you have anything specific that you might want to talk to me about, email me, and maybe we can find a time to chat and see if coaching about rehab and coaching about these things might be right for you. With that said, thank you all for coming to talk with me today. We'll see you all in the next video. Much love and keep moving, fam.